Hello, everybody. Welcome back to 'Cause I Said So.
Hello.
Hey, Mom. How's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Great. Kim's wearing a Love is Life shirt.
Love is life.
And it's pink.
It's red.
It's red. What's wrong with me? Sometimes I'll look at a number and it says 4 and I will say 2.
You're thinking too hard.
Does that happen to you?
A lot.
Gosh, drives me crazy. Mom, you just got back in New York this week. You're here for 2 weeks.
Yes, I'm excited. 2 weeks. Woohoo!
What's one thing you want to do while you're here?
I want to go see the Rockefeller tree. I want to be able to go eat at restaurants, which I never get to do when I'm here. Like make a reservation and show up.
Ooh, make the reservation and show up.
Yeah.
Throwback to the time you bought one Broadway ticket to a Broadway play and didn't get to go.
Yes, this time I'm going to make Joe go.
Your husband.
My husband, Joe.
He comes this weekend.
Yes, hopefully we'll get to go.
That's amazing. So by the time you're listening to this episode, Content Kim and myself, we've landed in West Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia, where we're going to go to Rough and Rowdy. We're going to talk all about Rough and Rowdy at the end of the episode. And for now, we're going to get into some fun Christmas things, like whether or not we wear matching PJs. Weird question, but this guy kept DMing it to me on Instagram, and he was like, do you guys wear matching Christmas PJs or not? And
a lot of people wear matching Christmas PJs.
He wanted to know if we did or not, so I thought, you know what, fine. Here's to persistence and you DMing me this over and over again. I guess I'm going to ask Kim if we do.
You do. We do.
Well,
I bought last year. I bought you the what's that one whole piece called?
That's called a onesie.
A onesie. We got onesies last year, but they're really hot.
Yeah, onesies are hot, but they're so comfortable.
Yeah, they're very comfortable. Although Michael looks funny in it, and so does Graham.
Michael's your son.
Michael's my
okay.
son.
So my husband is 6'6".
Yeah.
On a short day.
Yeah.
And onesies just don't fit him. they gotta give him a
They're
little.
never tall enough. Anyway, but everyone looks cute. And I asked you if you wanted matching pajamas this year because.
Did I reply or did you sandwich
you said
that? Nah. Oh, darn it.
Yeah.
I would have loved them.
No, I think I'll still try to find some.
Yeah,
they're hard to find this year.
So you're just slacking this year?
No, I was just like, we could use the ones from last year, but we may have an extra person this year, so.
My brother might be bringing home his girlfriend.
And we are so freaking excited.
For Christmas,
Yeah.
which actually, let's just skip to that now. That goes to the question of, Mom, what's your favorite Christmas memory?
My favorite Christmas memory? All my Christmases with you guys were my favorite memories.
So it's not when Dad proposed to you in a parking lot?
Oh.
Did you forget?
That wasn't Christmas, really.
Wasn't
that was
it
not
Christmas
a Christmas
Eve?
It was Christmas Eve, but yeah, that was like single Christmas Eves. Like I was going into my friend's apartment to celebrate Christmas with my friends.
And he popped on a knee in a parking lot?
He did not pop on a knee.
He didn't even get on a knee?
Hell no, your dad. Are you kidding?
What did he do? Just say...
He might as well have just drove by and throw the ring at me. That's how Joe operates.
What did he? So were you just walking?
I got out of my car and I was walking in and I turned around and he was there and I was like, oh, hey.
He met you in the park because we knew you were going.
I guess I don't know how he knew that. I must have told him because, we didn't have cell phones then.
And he was in the parking lot.
Yes.
And you got out of the car and he was there.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, will you marry me?
He's like, hey, yeah, I got you the string. Will you marry me? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, bye. I literally left. I went inside and I was like, oh my God.
I'm engaged.
Yeah.
Okay, so that just goes to show, or were you the exception to the rule?
I was the exception to the rule.
But engagements they weren't what they used to be.
I know.
Like
I
now
think
they're such a big deal.
No, I think that was like the polar opposite of even what they used to be. He was that's just Joe. He's like kind of like that's the last piece of jewelry I'm buying also.
Yeah, he doesn't buy you jewelry. I mean,
he does buy me some jewelry.
That's the same guy though that your honeymoon was at the lake.
Because he had an ear infection.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like that's just what your life looks like.
That's okay.
No, it's great. Look,
Yeah.
but you're happy.
I am
Wouldn't you
happy.
rather have?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Somebody drive by and throw the ring at you, and you live happily ever after than you would like a lavish engagement.
Oh yeah.
Perspective.
Uh-huh.
How a lot of people would like to know, how did you meet Dad?
I met him at a golf tournament that was a fundraiser. I met Joe at the party.
The party that the
But I think
fundraiser
it was
has.
the kickoff party. Yeah.
Okay, was it love at first sight?
I thought he was very handsome.
You did?
Mhm, yeah.
Did he come over and talk to you? Did you go talk to him?
He actually asked my best friend on a date first. Yeah, because we were very similar looking.
Oh, so she looked like you.
And he asked her out on a date, and then they called me when they were on their first date
And talked to
me
you?
the whole time. Yeah, and then after that, we went on a date.
Hold on. Did he talk to you at the party? Like he knew who you were and he knew who she was and he chose to ask her out on the date?
You need to ask your dad that part. Actually, he says this never happened.
What?
He says, no, I knew exactly who she was, but my friend was like, no, I think he asked out the wrong person. I think he
So Dad says he meant to ask out the other blonde, but you and your friend think that he thought he was asking you out because you looked similar.
That's what we think.
Okay, and then he drove by and asked you to marry him in a parking lot.
Well, that was many, many, many years later.
What was your?
Let's see, because we dated almost 10 years.
Almost you and Dad dated almost 10 years before you got married?
I was pretty young when I first met him.
How old were you when you met him?
Like 16.
16? Mm-hmm. You got married at 26?
Uh-huh. So
Really?
we dated off and on a lot. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Off and on a lot.
You dated off and on for 10 years, and then he popped the question.
In a parking lot by throwing the ring at me. No.
How romantic.
I know. Why did I wait all those years?
How long have you been married till this day?
Okay, that's a trick question.
You don't know.
33 years.
33, maybe 34.
I think it's 33.
Okay, so somewhere in the 30s you've been married.
Yes.
I will speak from a daughter's perspective and say that you and Dad still flirt till this day. I actually just put up an Instagram post the other day of him touching your butt.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, you guys
Gross.
You guys have my ideal relationship.
Oh, that's sweet.
Still till this day. Growing up I had a great idea of what love looked like. Like you guys were very good at showing me that. So what would be your tip for marriage? Could you give one? Is that too abstract of a question?
There's going to be difficult times. You got to work through them.
Okay.
I think a lot of people give up early. They're like, this is tough. I don't want to work through this.
Okay.
You're going to go through it with somebody, whoever it is, so you might as well work it out with this person.
Okay.
And I do think that you can always fall in and out of love with people. Like, not out of love, but you kind of go, But you have, in my phone, it says, I have Joe as hot hubby.
Yeah.
So every time he calls, even if I'm pissed off at him and I see that, I think, oh, yeah, I think that. I mean, you have to keep it positive because in your mind, you have to keep yourself attracted and enjoying all the things that you really loved about them to begin with.
You have to keep flirting.
You can get really pissed off and sick of everything that they do and really go down that rabbit hole and stay in it. But that's just your mindset.
So you're saying
you have to remember why you loved them all the time.
So love is a mindset. Keep love alive.
Yeah, keep love alive.
I love that. Okay, Dad tells me, so I called Dad before this.
Oh, that's what you all were talking about?
Yeah, I'm like, Dad, I need to know your one marriage tip because I'm going to ask Mom today what hers is. And he's like, oh, got it. It's always been the same thing. And I knew this. He told me this growing up in high school, and he told me this before I married Graham. The number one foundation of all foundations, he's like, I couldn't have married anybody. But
what?
I'm just kidding. He said, you've got to trust the person.
Oh, yeah,
he's
I'm very trustworthy.
He said you are, though. He's like, you always have been, rock solid. He's always known he could trust you.
Yeah.
And that without a shadow of a doubt, anything you tell him, it's not a lie. He said he's always trusted you, and you both have a very large foundation of trust.
That's for sure.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. And Joe's the type that even if I didn't want to hear it, it'd be the truth he'd tell me.
Brutal truth.
Brutal truth.
Yeah, you're both very honest with each other.
Yeah.
So I also asked you earlier, what's your piece of dating advice?
I got some dating advice early on one time when I was broken up with Joe.
Okay, what was it?
So when you're happy with yourself, like where you are in life and what you're doing, when you are at your happiest, the right person for you will come along. You will attract the right person when you are at your happiest.
I like that.
Because then you're being your true self. You're not in a bad space. You're not anything. You're your true self, and the right person will come along at that time.
That's sweet.
You're probably also the most attractive when you're happiest with yourself, don't you think?
I do think you glow from within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely beautiful people that you can say are not happy. You can tell. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, that's true.
People who you think are just beautiful because they're just happy.
Absolutely. Happy. Yeah. It does start with from within. Okay, Mom, what is some empty nester advice you have? Like when people's kids are going off to college?
I think when the last one goes off to college, you should make sure that you already have things planned, like a vacation or just anything that has you looking forward to something you really want to do in the next 2 weeks, and then do it again in the next 2 weeks. I'm not saying go out of town every time, but have something outside of your normal self planned for 6 months.
Yeah.
That you can do every month or every other week or whatever.
That's cool. Maybe you have to get out of your comfort zone a little bit and be like, okay, I'm going to join a pickleball league, or I'm going to go to dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Even if you work or don't work, just something because that gets kind of quiet at home, and that's kind of ick.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Because you with Graham, I guess, is more relatable because you're more my age. How did you know Graham was the one?
Oh, that's a really good question. How did I know Graham was the one? I would say because when it got hard, so it got hard. I think every relationship at some point gets difficult.
Oh, it's off and on.
Off and on, but before marriage
Okay.
too. Like, so I know that we're gonna be married for, let's say, 40 years. I don't know when we're gonna die, but let's call it 40, 50. And
God, I hope it's at least 50.
maybe it'll be 70.
Okay.
But throughout that, there's gonna be lots of hardships. So I already know that. So when we were dating, when it got really tough, two things: one, he fought really hard, and two, we met each other where we both wanted to be. And so from there, I was like, I can do life with this person. And the way he handled the hardships aligned with my morals. So I was like, this is a person I can go through hardships in life. This is a person I could bring a child into the world with. Like, I was like, we were kind of in sync. So I'm like, that's my person. What about you with Dad? How did you know?
Oh, I just knew the first time I saw him.
Really?
Yeah.
The first time you saw him?
Uh-huh.
You knew you were going to marry Dad the first time
No,
you saw
I
him?
just thought that was, I only really loved one person, really, and that was him. Like, the minute I saw him, I was just like, oh, my gosh.
You have loved one person your whole life?
Yeah, he's pretty cute, don't you think?
That's so cute. No, you still light up about him today.
No, that's it.
Oh my gosh, no, that is so cute.
Well.
No, really, truly growing up with like you two, Michael and I, my brother and I used to talk. We'd be like, like you guys would still flirt literally in the kitchen. Always.
That's probably because of your dad. That's just how he is.
That's so cute though. Gosh, you gotta love that.
Yeah.
Never settle, people. My pants are unbuttoned. Can you see that?
No.
I have a cold sore and my pants are unbuttoned. I'm struggling. Okay, Mom, did you ever really date anybody?
No, I went on dates, but I never liked anybody besides your dad.
You were like, blah, to everybody?
Blah.
You didn't like anybody but Dad?
No.
That's crazy. That is so cute.
Like, was Joe your only boyfriend? Like, did you ever have boyfriends?
Just short little bouts of boyfriends, maybe, but I didn't really like them.
Alex, did you have other boyfriends besides Graham?
Yeah, I had one boyfriend in high school.
And that was kind of like, didn't count.
For some reason, Kim doesn't think my high school boyfriend counts, but I definitely do.
We're not leaving. We are taking that out.
Isn't gonna listen. I had a boyfriend. I'm married. Mom, if you can't say I had a boyfriend in high school on this podcast, what are you gonna be able to talk about? I don't think either of the, like, if I heard somebody say they dated Graham, I'd be like, well, duh. I would assume other people dated him before me. I married him.
When do you have that conversation with someone of like, okay, so let me hear about your whole entire dating past?
What?
Like, I know people who are married and they just sat down one day and they were like, okay, tell me everything.
Okay, Graham and I were from such close proximity that we mainly knew each other's dating past. However, I think around right before the time you say I love you is when you have that conversation. Like, I think you're like, I could be falling in love with this person. I know I really like this person. Cue dating combo.
What do you mean cue dating combo?
Like, you're like, tell me the other people you've dated. Like, tell me about your history. Because I think the way you deliver your history says a lot about you.
This is a red flag that I have noticed. If your boyfriend, let's say boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever, like refers to every single one of their exes as psycho, bitch, crazy, they're the crazy ones. And they are the ones that drove all of those exes to their points.
Yes, if you can show up to the conversation and you can say, yes, of course I have a dating history. It's X, Y, and Z. And you can deliver it very blankly but matter of fact. Like, I think you welcome that part of the conversation because that's how you move forward. Like, I hope you have a past. Past is what makes us people. Like, your past is such a big part of who you are. And so you can't be like, oh, I never dated anybody, or like, we're not going to talk about it. It's like, of course we're going to talk about it. I wouldn't be who I was today if I didn't have that past. That's why I've never had a problem with somebody being like, these are my ex-girlfriends, these are my ex-boyfriends.
No, you definitely shouldn't have a problem with that.
I'm like, please, I hope you dated them. What gets me too is when you see one of your exes, unless it was like the worst ending ever, you still know that person.
Yeah.
Walk your butt over there and say hello. And if one of you's got a significant other, and one of you doesn't, if one of you's married now, whatever it is, we're all humans.
Yeah.
Introduce them. It's not awkward. Walk over there, say hi. Like, grow up and talk to the exes.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than someone who's been divorced for many years and they still say shit things about their exes.
Yeah, move on
Now,
from the
now
exes.
some exes maybe deserve it. I don't know, but still, let's just don't talk about
But
it.
don't make that your whole entire personality.
No, don't make it your
No.
life. Move on.
Like, there's nothing you can do to change it. If you can, I think in that
It-
scenario, you can ask yourself, is there something I can do to change it?
No.
Is it painful? Yes.
Yes.
But I still can't change it.
So let's move on.
So all you can do is A, move on, and B, be nice to them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care if they say hi or bye or whatever. That's
I don't
okay.
think it should
But
be awkward for everybody.
maybe it's not awkward. Maybe they just don't even care.
That's fine. If you don't care, that's okay.
But if you're just not going to go over there because you're all nervous or whatever, that's kind of probably silly.
Yeah. You shouldn't be nervous when
Yeah.
you see exes out in public.
And if somebody did something wrong, they're going to get theirs in the end anyway. So you might as well be nice to them and not be the bitch.
oh, it all works out.
Or the
Karma's a
jerk.
bitch.
What goes
Yeah.
around oftentimes, every single time comes back around.
Right. You don't have any control over it, and you saying mean things about them doesn't change anything except for make you look bitter and hateful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't let them win by looking bitter and hateful. Be happy yourself.
Yes. No, but I do think the relationship conversation comes right before the I love you, because it's a really big part of the I love you. Like, you're not going to love the person. Like, if you're debating whether or not you want to fall in love with this person, you want to know that the person you're falling in love with is mature enough to say, of course I had ex-girlfriends. Here's what happened.
Maybe another way you'd know is the right person. I always like this scenario that Joe says about who he would have in a foxhole. If you'd have that person that you'd go, do I love this person? Would he be the man I'd have in my foxhole?
What's going on in a foxhole?
Well, you're at war and you're in a foxhole.
Oh, I was imagining foxes in a hole.
No, it's kind of like, who's going to protect you? Who's the smartest person you're going to be in a foxhole with that's going to get you out of this? Who's
Okay.
going to get you out alive?
I gotcha. So, like, who's in your bunker with you? Like, that's big.
That's big.
That's massive.
You want the smartest?
That goes to Madeline's saying of, you want your 4 quarters, not 100
There you
pennies.
go. That's
Those are your people.
Yeah.
The older we get, the more fine tune I'm getting on my people. I'm like, you're my person. We can go together.
Yeah.
You're not my person.
I'll be
not
nice
walking.
to you. I'll be nice to you, and I like you and all that. But I'm not gonna spend a lot of time with you.
Yes.
I'm not taking you in my bunker.
You're not going to my bunker because bunkers are small. There's not a lot of room.
Yeah,
So pick your people.
Can't have 100 friends in a bunker.
No, I was gonna say, and you
No.
may be a penny, not a quarter.
And if you're going to live that close with them, here's the thing too. We don't have the older we get, and maybe the more we've got, I don't like the word busy, but the more we've got things to do, you don't have like a ton of extra energy to hand out to people. So you kind of have to say, I want my people with me.
Yeah.
I want to lock arms with them, and I want to walk.
Yep. It takes how many positive people to counteract one negative person?
3 to 1. You have to have, if you know you're going to be around one negative person, they say take 3 positives with you.
so that you don't go down that negative hole.
Yes, or else you're in the trenches taking grenades.
Yeah. So that's
not
hard.
what we want.
That's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, pick your people wisely. You only live once, so you might as well. They say the best thing you can do is start your day with a positive person. So that could be like, you could do that in your mind. Like, you could journal all positive things. You could read a book that has like just even 1 page out of a book that's positive. Listen to a podcast. But if you can start positive, they say you can change the trajectory of your day dramatically. Isn't that cool?
That is cool. Start your day out believing.
Yeah, so I have always loved that.
Meditate, say a prayer, do what you do.
Oh, somebody asked me how meditating's going, by the way. Okay, so on the last episode, I said 2 things. One, I was thinking about my New Year's resolution being meditation. And then the second one was that I was perhaps maybe going to needlepoint a stocking. And I had 2 friends text me. One says, I'll meditate with you every day of 2022. Love that. And the other one said, I'll needlepoint a stocking with you.
Yay, you get to do them both.
Yes, so I'm going to do them both, but I will
I'm so
say,
excited. I'm Googling needlepoint stores right now.
you do want me to, you could do that after. Right, because if you started Googling needlepoint stores, I would be
go
talking to nobody,
down that rabbit hole.
and you wouldn't be responding to me. I'd be like, "Mom," you'd be like, "Rrr." So don't do that yet.
Okay.
Let's get to the end of the podcast.
Okay.
So I can have a co-host.
Okay.
But I'm excited about the meditation thing. I have been doing it, not every morning.
Are you meditating with an app?
I meditate sometimes with the Peloton app, and I do the gratitude meditation, which I love because it's
Is
everything.
that an app?
Peloton.
No, but what's the gratitude meditation? Oh,
That's
on Peloton.
of the
Okay.
Peloton. But any type of gratitude meditation you do, it makes you, they say it's impossible to be angry and grateful at the same time, or mad and grateful, or sad and grateful. So if you're choosing gratitude for 10 minutes like that, it completely changes your soul around. So I love that one. The other one is Tony Robinson does the 3-3-3.
Tony Robbins.
Robinson. Sorry, Mr. Robbins. Tony does 3 things he is grateful for. So the first one is 3 things you're thankful for, a minute on each.
Okay.
Second one is just 3 minutes of spiritual whatever. He's like, you can even just sit there with yourself. He's like, I don't care what it looks like, but do some spirit.
So it has to be 3 things. Like if you're praying, it'd be 3 different prayers.
No. This one's just 3 minutes of whatever you want spiritually.
Okay.
First block, 3 specific things,
Okay.
1 minute each. Second block, 3 minutes.
Okay.
Third block, we're back to the 3 things for 1 minute each, and that is goals.
Okay.
So literally, if you're like, my goal is to get an A+ on this paper. You visualize yourself writing the paper. It's so good. You get the grade back. You got an A+. He's like, so for 1 minute, you visualize a new goal.
That's good. I
Yeah.
like that a lot. That's
so
good.
I like that one too. That's another good meditation I've been doing. Okay, Kimmy, do you meditate?
Yes.
What do you do?
I usually do I have an app, Headspace.
Oh yeah, Headspace
And
is
I
great.
used to do the little packets that they had, and I've pretty much done all of them. So now I just do the one they have daily on there. I like how they have it set up.
That's nice. How
That-
long do you do it for?
15 to 20 minutes.
I'll say meditation was the hardest habit for me to start, but the most beneficial one.
It's also when you get out of the habit. So I've gotten out of the habit since I've been coming back and forth from New York, and it now I'm back to like 5 minutes again. It's really hard.
It's hard, but man, when you can do it, it really is.
Helps a
it's
lot.
dramatic.
Yeah.
All right, Mama. By the time so it's Thursday when this episode comes out, and you and I are in Charleston, West Virginia, which is the home of where Barstool Sports does Rough and Rowdy.
Okay.
Rough and Rowdy has a special place in my heart because our second week here, when we started this job, we went to Rough and Rowdy.
That was like a whirlwind.
I took you there. So Rough and Rowdy started out, it's an amateur boxing tournament / fight where the boxers, they don't wear headgears or anything. They're not like real fighters, but they're...
Do real fighters even wear headgear?
So it depends. That boils down to like state regulations,
Okay.
which I don't know. This is amateur fighters. Sometimes they're like locals from West Virginia. Sometimes they're like TikTokers. It can be anything.
Okay.
And so on our second week here, I was like, I'm going to take my mom to Rough and Rowdy because she will hate it. I took you, and you absolutely loved it.
It was very interesting.
All I had was these videos of you like laughing, smiling, clapping, cheering. Like the atmosphere was electric.
It was electric.
You can bet on the fighters. West Virginia. We went to Charleston, West Virginia. It was awesome. So we had a blast. So fast forward to now, we're going back to Rough and Rowdy. I think Rough and Rowdy might just be our thing.
Okay.
Started out as a joke. Turns out we loved it.
The last time we went for one night. This time we go for 2 nights.
2 nights, yes. I loved it there. It's very simple. The people are really nice.
Everyone was very nice.
They're very nice. So Kim and I, we're in West Virginia. Barstool always has an employee fight in Rough and Rowdy, and this time it's Jersey Jerry. I think Jersey Jerry has one of the most inspirational stories from Barstool,
He does.
and just a cool story as a human being and his path from like his past to now. He's very nice. Incredibly kind, very smart, and he makes really funny videos. If you're like, I'm not interested in Rough and Rowdy, I'm not going to listen to this, I encourage you to listen to the next part of this episode where we interview him just on like a human level of getting to know a person and hearing a very inspirational story.
I agree with that.
So with that, Jersey Jerry. Okay, hey Jerry.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, Kim. Content Kim, I should say.
Content Kim, that's nice.
Yeah.
Jerry, let's start with who you are, where you were before Barstool, and then kind of your journey here.
Gotcha. Pretty simple. I struggled with addiction. I was homeless for a little while with drugs, and got myself up and went out to Arizona. Became an electrician out there, journeyman electrician. Moved back to New Jersey after 3 years. Got a union job as a pipe fitter for the next 4.5 years, and just started making videos and funny stuff on Instagram, and got picked up, and before you know it, got an interview with Dave, and
That is awesome.
yeah.
What video got you the interview?
So me and Dave, we this is years ago. I had a Steelers freakout video that went viral, and Dave asked me to meet them at a place that had horse racing and stuff. So I went to the place, and I got Dave's number. So for the next 2 or 3 years, I would always like message Barstool like my video. Sometimes they would read it, sometimes they wouldn't. And then I realized I have this guy's number. Why don't I just fucking text him? I didn't know.
There we go.
I totally forgot I had his number, so I was like, maybe it's still his number. So I texted him, hey, it's Jersey Jerry. He's like, who's that? And I'm like, I sent him the video. He's like, oh, what's up, man? I'm like, hey, like, I'm looking for a job. And he didn't answer. And then I messaged him again, like, hey, I'm looking for a job. Like, I want to work here. You know, I just got finished working for Kevin Connolly at Action Park Media. Scumbag owes me $35,000. Yeah, that's here nor there though.
Okay.
I didn't want to say it, but I said it.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I just want people to know that he owes me $35,000. He's, you know, entourage, rich, millionaire.
I want people to know that too.
Yeah,
Let's let the record show that.
He owes Jersey Jerry $35,000.
'Kay, noted.
I don't owe him a dime.
Don't cut that, Emily.
Yeah, don't cut that.
Do not cut that part.
But yeah, so I kept on reaching out to Dave. That eventually it came to the point where I'm like, dude, like, I'm a star. I told him, I said, listen, I'm a star. I'm not going to stop texting you until you block my number or give me a job. And he's like, all right. He's like, come in at 10 o'clock or whatever. So I came in, 10 o'clock. I was here. Dave was a no-show for about an hour. I waited in the lobby and got upstairs. We did our little interview. He's like, I'll give you 6 months. I said, I'll work for free for 6 months, and I'll prove myself to, you know, show you that, you know, I'm capable of working here and I deserve to be here. It's okay, you'll work for 6 months for free. You come in after your union job or before, whatever. After the first day, Dave texts me and he's like, all right, here's your contract.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty quick.
Because you made a hiring video
Yes.
on day one.
Day one, yeah.
Day one, we'll link this in our stories, but Jersey Jerry makes the hiring video that my husband still watches like 2 times a week.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it.
Okay, if Content Kim's seen it, then
Yeah.
most people have probably
Yeah,
seen it.
that's
It's
awesome.
an incredible video.
Yeah, it's a good video. You know, I demanded some one-bite pizzas.
Oh, I did see it.
Another
Yeah.
thing I would like to say that I would like to be on the record is Dave Portnoy is in debt right now for pizzas to Jersey Jerry.
Wow, a lot of people. Do you owe Dave anything?
No.
Okay, so
No.
2 people are in debt to you and you owe nothing.
Correct, exactly.
A man of his word.
I mean, absolutely.
It's in my contract.
It's written.
Two pizzas a month.
Would you say what got you here was persistence, confidence? Like, what was that?
So I would say, like, just never giving up. And you know, my family and my mom has a lot to do with it. She's the one who found me, you know, years ago, 6 years ago. I've been sober 6 years. She's the one who found me. And, you know, I would say just never giving up on yourself and never giving up on your dreams. You know
What
I
did your
mean?
mom do when she found you?
So I was homeless for,
Because of drugs?
yeah, and I would be by a dumpster next to the Dunkin' Donuts, and my mom would always go to a different Dunkin' Donuts. But that day, you know, July 3rd, 2015, she decided to go to a different Dunkin' Donuts in the morning. Like, she would go to Dunkin' Donuts, they would always have her order ready, and she would give them exact change every day in a different town. She decided to go to this Dunkin' Donuts that day, and, you know, she found me next to a dumpster. I was laying down, and, you know, she picked me up, and she's like, you got to go far away this time. Because I've been to rehab like 13, 14 times beforehand.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a long process.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one time, oh, boom, I got sober. It was, you know, a long process.
But you went to rehabs that were you go stay in the facility rehab.
Correct. I would always stay in New Jersey. Always. I would always go to these different rehabs in New Jersey. And this time she's like, you got to go far and just stay there for a long time. And then I just told her, I looked at her and I said, I'm done. Like, I have nothing left. Like, I'll go wherever you want me to go. She called my uncle who lived in Arizona, who helped me out and got me to a place because, you know, my mom doesn't have money or
And
anything
they're
like that.
expensive.
Yeah, and my uncle's very well off, and he helped me and brought me to a rehab in Arizona in Scottsdale, and I stayed in the rehab for 6 months.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I stayed there for 6 months. You know, I lived with a bunch of guys, and then after rehab, I 3 months stayed in a sober living house, which is like more freedom.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of like up to you to, you know, pay your bills. And, you know, I got a job at a Safeway bagging groceries for like $7, $8 an hour. And then is when I became the electrician, I lied on an application.
Mm-hmm.
I explained it on a previous show. For the first time, I've told people the story. I lied on an application on Indeed. There was a job for an electrician, and I lied on it. The resume, and I got the interview.
What'd you lie about?
So his name was Alfred, the guy who was about to hire me. I bought my New Jersey license, my fake resume, and he got my license. He's like, "What are you doing here from New Jersey?" And I'm like, "Well, I'll be honest with you. I just got out of rehab, and I'm working over at the Safeway. It's not enough money, and I'm like 9 months sober now, and I'm willing to work for minimum wage, and I'll show you that I'll be your best worker. And he started crying, the guy. He started crying, and I didn't know why he was crying. Like, yeah, I get it. You probably feel bad for me or whatever. That's what I was thinking, But he turned to me and he said, I just celebrated last week 25 years sober from alcohol.
Wow.
And he said, you're hired. And
Aw.
I worked there for a couple years. I became a journeyman electrician. And then that's when I kind of went back. Because Arizona's like it's like a right to work state, so it's not like protected and there's no union. And just having like kind of some family stuff going on. So my mom was like, why don't you move back home? And it was like 4 years in at the time. And I said, you know what? I'm strong enough to go back home. And I've been fine the last 2.5 years,
Good for you. That's awesome.
It's an incredible story.
It is.
So you make your way to Barstool Sports, and do you have a young son?
Yeah, 2.5 months.
2.5 months.
Oh, really
Yeah,
young.
Really young.
Yeah, like really young.
Yeah.
So did you have him before you got here? What's the timeline there?
It was right after I got hired because I told Dave, yes, I remember. I told Dave, I said, hey, listen, like the first couple weeks, like month.
Wait a minute. You've only been here that long?
Yeah, I've only been here like
Yeah,
3
he's
months.
new. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking this was years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just thought it was an old video I was watching. Okay.
Well, no, you were watching, so he's been making videos for a long
No,
time.
no, the one with Dave.
No, his hiring video is very recent.
Yeah, it's very recent, yeah.
Oh.
Very recent.
Yeah, so that's
Aw.
right. I told Dave in the beginning, I was like, dude, like, I'll sign the contract. Like, it's a good deal for me. Like, but the first couple weeks, month and a half is going to be like, I'm not going to be here as much. Like, I'm about to have a son. And he's like, dude, don't worry about it.
So you've got a new son,
Yeah.
new job,
New job, yeah.
and then you get here, and how do you get wrapped up into Rough and Rowdy?
So pretty much, I didn't know who the guy was, but I put out a tweet because me and Big Cat bet on the game, responsible wager, on the NFL game, for a guy to score a touchdown, and it was to win thousands of dollars. So we put in the bet. The guy scores a touchdown. He literally scored the touchdown. They said his heel was on the line.
Oh.
So me and Big Cat lost the bet. So I put out a tweet saying, Dave, listen, if they change the rule next year, give me and Big Cat our money back. We deserve it. And Big Cat was on board with it. There was a guy who wasn't on board with it, who reached out to me and put out a tweet. His name is Jeff Nadeau. He reached out and said, oh, you're a bitch. Why are you begging for your money back? So I said, listen, buddy, I have no idea who you are. If you really got some beef with this shit, we can fight at Rough and Rowdy. And I was being serious. And he's like, okay, no problem. So that's
what it was. So it's over. So you
Over
made
a
a
tweet.
bet over the touchdown.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a debatable
Wow.
thing. I think it's really cool that you're like, if they change the rule next year, give us our money back. This guy has a
Yeah.
problem with it. You say, fight me in Rough and Rowdy, and he says, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Really simple.
Does Rough and Rowdy mean anything to you, like fighting in it, or not
Yeah.
really?
Oh, yeah, like it does for sure. Like I've watched them in the past, and it's like, like you're putting your whole brand and your name on the line. And for this guy, it's strictly about money.
Yes, but have you seen this guy?
Yeah, I've seen him in person once.
Yeah, they saw each other.
So he's not like some 7-foot monster.
No, no.
That'd be
no.
scary.
He's not.
No, he was, I don't know, like 400 pounds, lost a lot of weight, and maybe an inch and a half taller than me. Not athletic. Pretty much stays in his apartment all day. He's
Okay.
OCD, scared to sleep in different beds. He's a very weird guy.
Here's why I like you fighting in Rough and Rowdy. I asked you like probably a month ago. I was like, "Are you gonna win?" And do you remember what you said? You said, "I know I'm gonna win, and here's why."
I don't remember that, but I remember. I listen. I've always said up until this point I'm going to win. There's nothing in my mind that'll let me get to the point where I might win, I might not win. I always say I'm going to win.
It sounds like you were like, "I know I'm gonna get this job. I know I'm gonna win."
Yeah.
And you said Jeff, is it Nadeau? I always say it wrong.
Yeah.
Nadeau.
Yeah.
He hasn't been through what you've been through or seen what you've seen.
Yeah, like this is a guy who has no idea what struggle means like. Let's face the facts. He's been spoon-fed his whole life. His parents have a multi-million-dollar shore house, multi-million-dollar houses. He comes from money, and he comes from a place where there was never no hardships. There was never no struggle. You never had to go through anything. You wouldn't last. Listen, to live on the street and not shower and not brush your teeth and go days without eating and picking up cigarette butts off the ground just to smoke something, dude, there's a lot of people that won't, if their mental isn't there, they won't be able to deal with it. You know what I mean? And I know he's the type of guy who would die after one day. He wouldn't be able to do it.
Doesn't have that grit.
No.
That's why I like Jersey Jerry fighting in Rough and Rowdy, because it's so much more than just a boxing match.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's about respect.
It's about right
respect.
there, Mom. It's about respect. That's incredible. Have you been training hard?
Yes. So for the last, I haven't went to a gym from when I was since I actually got sober. I have never went to a gym up until the last, I'd say, 3 months. And I've been training, you know what I mean? There, you know, I did contact COVID a couple weeks back, so that set me back like a week and a half. But, you know, I'm ready to go. I wish the fight was today.
There we go.
would love
I
that.
like that.
That's good.
You know we're gonna be there.
Oh, you're going?
We're coming. We're coming.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thursday,
we'll
we're
be
flying
cheering
in.
you on.
Oh, hell yeah.
Very loudly.
That's what's up.
Yeah, we wouldn't miss it. I'm really excited for you. I've got one more question. In the documentary / little video that you and Marty made together, you talked about donating to homeless, like
Yes.
the reason you give the money. Will you explain that?
Yeah, so what I always did, even before Barstool, is every time I would drop merchandise, like Jersey Jerry shirts and stuff like that, I would always give back 10% to a charity like Salvation Army, different rehabs throughout New Jersey and stuff like that, because it means something. You know
That's
what I mean?
good.
Like, I know what it's like to be in places like that and to live with 10 guys in a room, you know what I mean? 10 beds in a room, and it's tight, and I know what that feels like to be away from family and, you know, be by yourself every day. You know, it's tough. So that's why I always give back.
And you said sometimes when you give $1 to a homeless man on the street, you don't know. It was brought up on the documentary. You don't know if they're going to buy drugs or not, and you say that's not your problem.
Yes.
You just know you can make their day better.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, the reason I do that, and I do that all the time, like, and you know what? My mom's never done it. She's never done it until I got sober.
Okay.
Oh,
And
really?
She's because I remember for years, and I've asked her, you know what I mean? Since I got sober, I've asked her. I was like, you know, every time we go somewhere and we're about to get on a parkway and the homeless guy is like right over here, you always give money now. Why? And she said, because that was you, and I know what that felt like every day. So I've been doing it since I got sober, and my mom has never done it for years. Like, my mom is the type, like I said, she pays exact change. She uses coupons. Like, she's frugal with her money. But when it comes to that, she's not.
That's good.
You know? So, yeah, I always try to give back to
Yeah.
people. Because I know what it feels like. I know having nothing. And listen, if he goes buys drugs, that's none of my business. Maybe he'll get coffee or maybe he'll get something to eat. You know what I mean? But if he gets drugs, it's none of my business what he does with his money. I just know it'll make his day better. You know?
And yeah.
New York's the first state, or I don't know if it's just the city,
Mm-hmm.
that is doing the drug zones.
Yeah.
Safe injection
Yes.
sites.
Yes.
I don't know what I think about that. I guess it's a good thing.
Well, let's ask Jerry. What do you think about that?
I agree with it.
You do?
I do, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because there's, like, you know, so many diseases you can contract,
Yeah.
you know, using dirty needles and stuff like that. And listen, at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer, like, the war on drugs will always get worse. It will never get better because that's just how it's set up to be. Like, I really don't, but this is a step where, you know, it can get better. There'll probably be a lot less deaths because you'll be surrounded with other people inside. You know, you're doing your drugs. Listen, at the end of the day, they're going to do the drugs anyway.
And therefore, opportunity for someone to get sober.
Exactly. You know what I mean? What if a guy is in an alleyway and, you know, injects him and he overdoses? He's dead.
Yeah.
At a place like that, you know, it's
And maybe the kindness or
safer.
the people that are there have an influence on them.
of course, yeah. For
It's
sure.
incredible.
Yeah.
Jerry, can't thank you enough.
Thank you,
You're
guys.
We're excited to see it.
Appreciate it.
and
Thank
you're
you.
an inspiration.
You are an
really are
inspiration.
inspiring.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
See you Thursday.
See you Thursday.
Wow, Mom, that was incredible.
It was amazing. No, it just kind of makes everyone go quiet.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there with your mouth like pick it up off the floor.
Yeah, you're trying to take it all in. And you're like, I work with that guy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You walk by somebody. I knew that story because I had watched some documentaries on him, but you walk by people
I didn't
all the
know
time.
all that. No.
Yeah, so it's important to get to know people. That was
You never know someone's story.
never know somebody's story. So I'm really happy to hear Jersey Jerry's. He fights Friday night, so tomorrow night, in Rough and Rowdy.
Oh yeah.
And here we go. We're going to be there. I can't wait.
I can't either.
I hope he wins. I hope he kicks some ASS.
So we'll be cheering.
We'll be cheering. And
Alex, are we gonna have good seats like we did last time?
I don't know. We'll see.
I hope.
Hope so.
We're requesting good seats. No.
Kim's worried about the seats. It's actually seat yourself, so we can.
No,
we
we-
picked our seats last time.
Oh well, let's pick them again.
We're going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, pick those seats again. I liked them.
Okay, we will.
Okay.
I know right where we sat. Guys, massively important announcement. Next week is our first non-Barstool interview.
Woo, I'm nervous.
I'm so excited. I can hardly stand it. We're going to tease you every day next week. Kim and I are going to wear suits because it's interview week.
It is interview week.
I'm pumped. We're going to give you like a little hint as to who it is.
We are?
I couldn't decide.
How are you going to hint that anyway? No one's going to get it that I know, so you can hint away.
They're a mom.
They are a mother. That's it. How about that? They're a mom.
Okay.
That's great. It's a mom. And stay tuned until next week. I would call it our biggest episode yet.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas season. Happy Hanukkah. 'Tis the season. Tell somebody you love them.
Yes, spend some time with someone you love.
Yes. Okay. Over and out.